What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Medicine and Culture with Tin and On. Today we have a special guest on. This is Daniel. He's just Daniel.
Hello, guys.
He's be joining us today, giving us some insights about all the topics we'll be talking about. So we are on Apple Podcasts. Currently on the verge of switching my podcast hosting. So I think episode 2 hasn't gone to Apple Podcasts yet. So hopefully after like a week or two, everything will be smooth and running. Everything will be uploaded by then. But let's get into it, guys. How you guys doing today? What's up, on?
Good,
Yo,
good.
we didn't give Daniel a introduction.
Yeah, you want to tell us
Give
about
give
yourself,
us a
Daniel?
quick introduction.
Quick introduction. I work in a pulmonary office as a office manager. Currently applying to PA school. Um, Waiting to hear back from one school. Uh, Pretty much it, man. Working out every day. Do my thing.
Nice.
Yeah, I forgot to
Yeah.
introduce us to
PA
like me.
school. You chose the right.
Yeah, me and On. We're both
Go
fourth
ahead.
year medical student. Gonna be starting our residency. So yeah, Daniel's definitely trying to get into PA school. He's gonna make it. I'm sure of it. So
You
first
chose
thing
the
in
right
the
path, man.
agenda: Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Have you guys heard about that?
No.
Am I lagging?
No, I mean you're good. I can see you. You just the
You got-
quality is a little bad for you, but I can hear you just fine. So you just look like a little potato, pixelated potato. Um, but yeah, so Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's back in the news again. I'm really biased about this topic, so just stop me when kind of show the other side. You guys have to, but essentially for the past few years, before what started was Amber Heard kind of wrote an opinion post on, I forgot which tabloid magazine it was, but she kind of posted something online. It was an opinion piece. She didn't specifically mention Johnny Depp's name, but they were, I think, either dating or married at the time. So you know when you put that out there, like who else could it be except your husband? But essentially, the post was talking about how abuse and domestic violence, all this stuff that she was enduring and stuff. So that got out. A lot of people, started like tearing up Johnny Depp, and then Johnny Depp sued the tabloid magazine. I don't think he sued Amber Heard. Oh, maybe it's the other way around, which he sued Amber Heard and not the tabloid magazine. But there was like a court
Hmm.
case going on. I think the verdict came down to, um, I actually don't remember. uh, but I don't
I think he
think
did sue the
like
son.
did he get the guilty verdict, or did what happened then with that one? Oh, is it still going on now or what?
So he sued. What's it? No, he sued. What's it called? Like a English. Like I think it was called the Sun, something like that.
Yeah,
And
he sued
essentially
a
they
tabloid
found
journal.
him. They didn't have enough to like be guilty.
Okay, so he didn't sue Amber Heard, but he
So
sued
he
Yeah,
the
didn't win.
tabloid, and
yeah.
then it kind of got,
He didn't win that. Yeah.
yeah. So the case got dropped or whatever. So now I think Amber Heard sue him because there was a counter suing, or either that or like he starts suing her now directly. But whatever the case, I mean, finally everything
Okay.
came out to the fact that everything, like personally for me, they both, they could be abuse going on both sides, like domestic abuse and stuff. But everything that's coming out to light now,
Yeah.
it seems
Hmm.
kind of like Amber Heard's the one that kind of instigated, and she kind of like the abuser, and Johnny eventually was kind of like taking it in the beginning, but now he couldn't cope with it. He was like drinking alcohol and he couldn't cope with it. So there's like incidents of him kind of like hitting her and like maybe causing harm to her too. Uh, but for me, I don't know. What do you guys think about that situation and stuff so far? Before I kind of give my thoughts about it.
Hmm. This is very typical of
I
any type of like
Yeah.
domestic violence. I feel like both people have a role in it. Um, Whether someone has a bigger role is another question, right? But I feel like it has it takes two to tango kind of thing, you know?
Hmm.
So I really have no idea about their situation or anything, but I'm just taking it as a general domestic violence type of thing or domestic abuse type of thing. I feel like that takes place, like both parties. I don't know. That's what I think.
I don't know.
What
I
about you,
think
Daniel?
she's pretty manipulative. I think she's pretty manipulative, man. Wasn't there like I think there was a what's it called? So Johnny Depp secretly filmed her saying all this crap, right? Like, it was just like a slap, or like I'm gonna like totally like, you know, make a fool out of you in court. And so I think she's crazy, like straight up crazy, and he's just being like, he's like the real victim here.
Just Mr. Johnny Depp.
Team Johnny Depp all the way. Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, let me.
Believe all men.
So yeah, essentially, this kind of came out initially with with the Me Too movement, and be like you don't believe a woman kind of thing. And I feel like that movement has gone. It started as a good faith kind of thing, kind of bring about sexual harassment and
Hmm.
domestic violence awareness, and just as with everything, it kind of went down. Like it just go too far to one side. Where now, I think with the incident, especially itself, now you can kind of see the ramification for what happened when you go too far. When you kind of accuse somebody without any shred of evidence and just kind of believe one side without all the truth and all the evidence laid out. So so for me, this case is like I was a big fan of Johnny Depp. Like I love all his movies growing up. Like Pirates of the Caribbean, Captain Jack Sparrow. Sparrow was like my my favorite character. I mean, like, the last few movies kind of trash, but like he was definitely a big part of my childhood. And yeah, I love Johnny Depp, and the fact that he lost kind of like everything um, after this kind of went out. He like lost his role as uh, Captain Jack Sparrow. Um, the new Harry Potter movie, they replaced him. He lost his role as Grindelwald in the new Harry Potter movie. So literally, like he's not in any movie. He's kind of blacklisted from Hollywood and stuff now. And Amber Heard, despite the fact that I don't know, maybe she's gonna get ramifications later, but she's still in all the movies. She's gonna be in Aquaman 2. She was in Aquaman 1, and there was a big petition for people to kind of like if you're gonna treat Johnny Depp like this, then you might as well remove her from the movies. Like, why are you giving her stuff?
Hmm.
So the only problem I have with this is you can't. It's like innocent to proven guilty. You can't. But the problem with like society, media, social justice is that once something's just given, and once people make up their minds about it, is there's no changing it. Doesn't matter what kind of come out. And for a lot of cases where um like the liars who kind of accuse these people, especially like because you go so far, like the woman who kind of accuse these people of like rapists or like sexually harassing them or domestic violence, and it come out to be false. Usually there's not that much ramifications for them, while the guys, the
Hmm.
stories of guys who've been in jails for like 5-10 years until they finally found that this guy was totally innocent, and so he just got out of jail, and that's it. Like the woman didn't get arrested or given a trial or anything for lying in court and stuff. So I think this whole situation just kind of shows what happens when you go too far to one side with the Me Too movement and believe all women kind of thing. Um,
Hmm.
and it just hopefully after this it's gonna shift back. So I don't know. I'm hoping for me, I think Amber Heard is like she really is crazy. Like she does have mental problems and kind of cause problems for Johnny Depp. And then the problem is she's getting away with it, and I don't like that. I think there should be some consequences for her
Wait,
actions and decisions.
there's no evidence at all, so it's just what he said, she said type
It's
of
a lot of
thing.
he said, she said kind of thing.
Okay.
Like testifying in court right now, like they bring in people like close friends, relatives. The marriage
Hmm.
counselor is actually what really kind of like set the tone for me, because like the marriage counselor made a good point that like for the past 50 years, like Johnny Depp been married a few times, and there's been no problem with he's never been accused of any domestic
previous, yeah.
violence or anything from his previous partners and girlfriends until like now. While Amber Heard
Mhm.
has like chronic history of abusing people.
Oh, she
So
does.
Really?
yeah,
She's
Who else
she
does she abuse?
not abusing like their partner, but like she's like really abused her mom. Her mom came to the stand and like testify. Her personal assistant, like she spit on her personal assistant, like yeah,
Wow,
all this stuff. So she have a history of doing those things, like just being a horrible person.
her mom testified against her.
Yeah,
that's so sad.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. And it's sad that I think both of
That
them,
says a lot.
Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, they both kind of came from a broken family where they were both abused as a child, like physically abused. Like Johnny Depp's mom was like abusing him, and his sister like came to testify for him and kind of talk about how he used to deal with the abuse and stuff. And Amber Heard was also abused by her dad, and so I don't know. They both have issues in the past, but
What did Johnny Depp? Yeah, I just want to know what other people's perspective of Johnny Depp were. Like, what did his mom say? Did she testify against him or she supported him? Just want to know.
oh, I don't think Johnny Depp's mom like came up to testify. I don't even know if she's still
Oh,
alive or
okay,
anything. But yeah, the only
bro.
mom I heard of was Amber Heard's. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, she's still
Mhm.
acting in movies and stuff while he lost everything. I just don't think that's fair.
Yeah,
Again, I'm biased, so
we're biased.
Wait, so
But okay,
she has no repercussions, or there's nothing
yeah, like
that
nothing,
happened to her with it?
nothing's happened.
Really?
Maybe after this trial and everything gonna come out to light, maybe something will happen. But I still doubt that too.
yeah, I don't know, man.
Um,
So go ahead. What are you gonna say?
no, no, go.
So like when the news or when the story came out, like when he was abusing her and stuff, like she was making all these accusations. People were, going through like tabloid or like what's those people, the paparazzi photos, and they're saying like the next day kind of thing, and like they're oh that she has like no like bruises on her head or like stuff like that. So I don't know if it's like makeup that she's just covering it up, but it's also just crazy how she would like if it was true, like she would just go out and like make lies of it. But I mean, it's so easily caught though, like with I guess with all the pictures that they're being constantly being taken pictures of, you know what I'm saying?
No,
There's
no,
no
Like
I
she
know what
evidence
you're
lied,
of
saying.
any.
like she was lying on one day, like it's like, oh,
Yeah, no,
I got beat, right?
I'm just kidding. Yeah,
And then the next day,
let's say she's testified on Monday that, oh yeah, like
yeah,
she beat me, he beat me on Monday night. But then like they look back and they saw her a paparazzi picture from the Tuesday of that week,
yeah, yeah,
and they didn't
yeah,
see any like signs of bruises or anything. That's what you're saying.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
yeah,
so she's
but
just lying left and right.
yeah, like
I think she's
and
lying.
the problem with that is because like everyone is saying believe a woman, like doesn't matter what they say, we gotta believe them, and no one's bothering to do any investigation, or you can't even doubt them because that's literally what the saying means. Like you gotta believe them no matter what, because it's so hard for them to say these things. You can't question them, and you can't do anything to kind of make them upset. And I think that's very
Hmm.
dangerous. It allows for no investigation. It allows for no accountability. Um, it's just such a crutch to fall back on. And I'm not making light of domestic violence or sexual abuse, um, and sexual assault. I'm, but there's like when it comes to societal standard and justice and court cases and stuff, there's gotta be some kind of standard.
Hmm.
Well, isn't there that proven you're innocent until proven guilty,
Yeah,
right?
but so it's
So
not
isn't
like
that taking place?
it's that's in court. You're innocent until you prove it in like judicial court. But
Yeah.
on
But
social media,
on the people's eyes, man, you're
on the
guilty as
social
hell.
media court, you're done, bro. Johnny Depp's done. Like even though he hasn't been,
understand.
it's not like he's been charged with like assault or violence against her, but they
Right.
literally are treating him as if he is, and he lost
Mhm.
all kind of deals with Disney and WB and everything.
Right. That's crazy. Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's what I got. What do you got for us,
Well, I want to talk about how Elon Musk is trying to buy Twitter.
bro? Yeah, I saw that.
Did you guys see? And did you see
I
what
did.
the
I did
price?
see that. I did see that. That was
You know
brilliant.
what price? How
What?
much per share?
It's
Did
like
you see the number?
$54 or
54
some
for sure.
And
50
20
some
cents.
dollars.
Is that a
5,
lot?
4, 20.
Is that a lot? I don't
No,
really know how much it
he
is.
just picked that number because it has 420 in it.
Oh, is that why?
I bet you if he
No
had enough
way.
money,
No
why
way, dude.
420? Dude, have you seen his tweets? Dude, his tweets are just funny. He's like
Wait, why
your
don't you just make it 400 or $42 and like zero
no,
cents?
because the shit. Why would he undersell?
Oh,
Because
is
right
it
now
is it
Twitter,
under? I
yeah,
don't know. I
Twitter
don't
is
know.
trading like 46, $47, man.
Oh.
So look, this is one of my thought process. Elon Musk is very smart, right? But he also portrays to like memes. He loves memes. So
Right.
That's how he expressed
the
himself.
next number, yeah, the next number is 420. 5 420, right? He's not going to do 6 420 because that's too expensive. And then he probably thought about 69, but 69 would be way too expensive. That's like $70 billion. you know. So 5
520,
420,
perfect number.
perfect number. Yeah, but no, but did you guys read his tweet though about it?
What does it say?
No, but
Well, it roughly just says like basically, I want to buy Twitter to make it better, right? For
right.
$54.20.
Oh, right,
And
right.
if you don't agree, I'm basically gonna
Dump
take
my
all
10
the shares,
shares.
yeah, pull my shares away and reconsider like, somewhere else.
Like he's gonna sell
So
the
like
shares that he just bought.
exactly. And you know that how many shares he has? I think it's like 14% of Twitter so far.
Wait, I
Or
thought
like
he
No,
said 10,
I thought it's not
10% or
like
something.
it's
10%.
less than 10%. It's like 8 or
Or
something.
yeah, but it's like a ridiculous
It is the
amount, right?
highest of everybody,
Yeah.
right?
So like that'll so basically Twitter will either go up like crazy or tank. So people are just trying to um predict what's gonna happen. If I don't I for me personally, I don't think Twitter's gonna take this deal. Um just because it's just so big, the platform's huge. They just have way more they just have a lot uh, of leverage, I guess. I don't know
Mhm.
what the term is. I'm not a stock and analysis or whatever, but I feel like they're not gonna sell their company for this much.
Mhm.
But it's because it's a it's a public company. It's not like this
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
one person that gets a say. They get a vote for it.
Right.
So on the
Yeah. So
board,
that's
if
why.
other high stock member vote for it and say yes, there's nothing that Twitter kind do. Like if the staff and workers doesn't really have a say in it. It's whoever owns the highest amount of stocks get to vote for it and decide they want to sell or not.
But how much? What percentage of shareholder? Like greater than 50%? Greater than 75? Like what's the number? Because obviously the CEO holds a lot. And, you know, I don't know who holds the most right now, but like
But I
there
thought it
needs to
was
be like a number
Elon Musk hold the most right now.
I thought we
right
just said it
now.
was Elon.
Yeah, it's Elon. He
Oh, it's
holds
Like I
Elon.
thought we established this.
he holds the
Oh,
highest. He have the highest
I
amount
don't
of
know.
stuff involved, but
I thought
he
I thought the
I
CEO would
think
have more
he's not part of the. I think he's not
board.
part of
He's
the
not part of
board.
the board,
Yeah, so
so he can't like
so
make votes.
he's not the one voting to sell it or not. The
Yeah.
people on the board are the people that's going to vote to decide if they sell the company or
Hmm.
not to him.
Yeah.
But didn't you just tell me that it's not up to the board? I thought it's up
No,
to the
I'm saying
shareholders, right?
the board people are the
Super confusing.
shareholders.
Are you sure? I'm not. I
That's why
don't know
Elon
anymore.
Musk has the option to become a board member because he has so much share.
Okay.
but he decided not to be a board member. So all the people in the board members are people with the most shares in Twitter
Probably.
right now.
I heard also the reason why he didn't want to be a board member was because he wants to make it private, right? So he can make more
Well,
changes
that's why he's
or
buying. That's why he's
faster
buying.
changes.
That's why he's buying Twitter for, to make
Yeah.
it private.
It's
So
crazy, man.
it's safe to say that these board members are other big shareholders, right, of Twitter. And if
Right.
he's able to convince the majority of them to sell their shares basically to him, then the minority will basically have to forfeit and be like, okay, I guess we can't win, and then they'll have to sell it as well, right?
Right. That's what happened when you're a publicly traded company. You don't really have a say anymore. That's kind of one of danger of going public. So
Yeah. So I was trying to look into this. So this is basically a typical thing they call the hostile
hostile
takeover.
takeover.
Yeah, hostile takeover. This is it. It's like, but Elon Musk is gonna win regardless of what happens,
Explain.
right? He's either gonna
Yeah. Okay.
obtain
So
Twitter for this price,
right.
and obviously he has plans to make it better and all this, or he's gonna sell his shares at a higher price because when he bought in, it was like only $20 or a high 20s, I think, and now
Damn.
it's like 40 something, right? He basically doubled his money, and he'll just pull the rug, and then he'll eat on his profit or whatever, right?
That's crazy.
So Elon Musk is like doing the right thing. He plays the game really, really smartly, and like he just knows how to play the game. But also he has a lot of money, so not everyone can do this, and not everyone can be like, "I'm gonna buy Twitter,"
Yeah.
and then yeah. So
That's
he's
a
gonna win
superpower.
regardless. Yeah, he can do whatever he wants. It's pretty crazy,
He's Bruce Wayne.
pretty much. But this is what I want to ask you. What do you guys think about the Twitter platform? So you know how he is so onto like freedom of speech and stuff. Like he
Like
wants,
censorship and stuff like that.
yeah, he wants to make Twitter a better place for you to just say whatever you want to say,
Hmm.
right? But without any people editing your comments or people putting you on the blacklist so your comments never show up or stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but what do you think about that? As in, like, there are things that should be, blocked, right? I feel like
Right.
freedom to
You
speak,
mean like bullying and stuff, like cyberbullying?
bullying, or like when it comes to like criminal stuff, like people trying to do crime,
Yeah.
like literally to be like, I'm gonna kill this person tomorrow or something, like,
Hmm.
uh, or like they're trying to organize a crime or something. I don't know. Shouldn't that have some monitoring and stuff? So I don't know how Elon Musk is gonna take take care of that if he's in charge of Twitter. What do you guys think about that?
I'm gonna go ahead and let Daniel take the lead.
I really don't know.
Hey, I'm
Well,
surprised. I thought you would have a lot of opinions about this.
I mean, on one hand, I do think that you shouldn't have things that obviously criminal or cyberbullying going on, right? Because it's obviously messed up. But at the same time, on the other hand, like you don't want to take censorship so far that you're actually, you know, stopping people from saying what they want on their mind. Like freedom of speech kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with Twitter, it's a platform that's so big. They should have some sort of, accountability if they want to like do their own thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if they should be like, I think I was reading about this. It's called publisher versus goddamn. It's either you're a publisher where you have like, or a platform, right? So if you're a platform, you can let people talk and do whatever they want, say whatever they want. But if you're a publisher, that means you have to have some sort of accountability on what people say. you know, on your platform or on your
Okay.
um like
So you're
thing.
filtering things, right? You're reading
Yeah,
through it and you're okay.
yeah,
But Elon Musk wants it just to be like a public platform. He wants it to be like your, was it the Times Square or what did he say?
Yeah, it could be
Like
like the Times Square,
central,
like the town square where
yeah,
people can
Town
just come
Square,
and talk
yeah,
and
where
stuff.
people just talk whatever they want. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. Well, let me bring up this thing first for you. The point that the people got to think about is that yeah. So let's say you want to censor stuff. There's to be bad things that you want people to talk about. Let's say like big thing back then was let's say global climate change, right? Facebook like COVID misinformation or whatever, right?
hmm
Hmm.
So who determines these kind of misinformation or propagandas and fake news stuff? It's not Twitter. It's the people that Twitter hires to do it. Same thing with Facebook, right? You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
third
like Twitter
party.
employees sitting there filtering through this stuff. They outsource it to like a third party because there's no way that there's so many people, there's so many tweets that they gotta do. They don't have enough
Hmm
employees to do this stuff, so they
Manpower.
outsource it to people. So let's say for global warming stuff, let's say they outsource it to this company called oh yeah we love global warming. I mean sorry, not we love global warming, but global
It's gonna
warming
be a little biased.
is dangerous
Yeah.
and you know everyone should be careful about it.
hmm
And they outsource this company, and this company is the one making the decision whether or not to ban the posts and the videos regarding global warming, right? And
hmm
there's been a lot of stories of people where these kind of companies just kind of abandon videos with no really good explanation. And these companies can be biased because these are people, right? And people have
hmm
agendas and people have political biases, and they
hmm
have and it's not like these companies have made up PhDs in the field of global warming or even COVID. It's not like the COVID misinformation stuff is made up people from the CDC and you know epidemiologists and certified MDs. It's these people are literally just maybe just have like a bachelor of science background, like bio or something, and they just hire a bunch of people and they just kind of comb through these things. So there's been stories of people where they get like a lot of big news reporters too, where they post something and it get banned or taken down, and when they ask for a reason why, they can't really give them a reason why, and yet it still remain taken
hmm
down. Um, and that's the biggest problem I have with Twitter. Have you watched a Joe Rogan podcast with him talking with Jack Dorsey and Twitter's
Uh,
lawyer or something?
No.
yeah, yeah, I remember that. I saw that. That was
That's
good.
that's a good episode because like he sat down with the previous CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey,
Mhm.
and one of the employee who's she's kind of higher up in command. She's kind of lawyer for them, and she kind of run the
Yeah,
process
it's
of
like
how to filter out contents like hate speech and everything, and kind of talk about
Mhm.
how Twitter decided to go through these things. And so
right.
they really get into it and talk about it, and they do admit that there's no way you can effectively censor um like effectively is one aspect of it, and the second one is like accurately, right? Like let's say for hate speech,
hmm
you know, it's really hard to denote what someone is saying just with a phrase like "Hey, I'm gonna kill you." Like there's no what's the context, what connotation? Like you know, if I'm just sitting here joking with you guys, and he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna kill you, man." Like you like call me stupid or something. I'm gonna kill you. Like is that me planning to kill you or threatening to kill you? It's
Yeah.
hard to get that over text, and you got there's all these contexts you got to go through it.
Right.
So it's very nuanced, and so efficiency and accuracy is two very obviously very important that you got
Mhm.
because you can't leave a tweet on for too long because by the time you get to it, it's gonna be too late. So
Yeah.
efficiency and the accuracy is you gotta make sure that what you ban is actually hate speech or misinformation.
hmm
So I think, come on, man, like I don't personally use Twitter, but I just know a lot. I just hear a lot like horror stories about it, and I believe that Twitter is very biased toward one political ideology uh, side. Same thing with Reddit, right? Like Reddit
hmm
usually draws a lot of like liberals, like younger generation. Same thing with Twitter. If you go on Met Twitter, you scroll through them. There's a lot of like liberal left wing stuff.
Mhm.
And there's been a lot of condemnation against Twitter in that it like to censor a lot of right wing conservative
Mhm.
opinions. So I think people have a good assessment in that. I agree with it. So I think that's why Elon kind of want to come on and talk about, hey, Twitter, maybe you should kind of change your censoring and censorship stuff before. So I think it's a good idea that he does that.
Yeah, I think one more thing about this. So I did watch this interview with some dude. I don't know, some dude from Twitter. I think it was like posted 2 days ago or 3 days. I don't know, but he they asked, right, and like what he and he straight up says that there needs to be an open source code. Like Twitter needs to open source whatever they're using, what code they're using, so then other people can work on it to basically achieve like a master AI that can censorship. Like an AI could do this better than like any human can siphon through all these millions of tweets. He believes that there's some sort of like AI that can do this,
Dude,
which
I will believe that.
is very Elon Musk thing to say,
Yeah.
right? Like it seems impossible, but I think like as long as it's open to the world to work on it, he feels like Twitter would be better, than
Oh.
like putting it all in a responsibility of like what Tim said, like someone outsourced human that
Mhm.
has a intrinsic bias. Everyone has a bias,
Mhm.
but an AI that can like do millions and billions and trillions of connections, and they can do things that a human mind can't do. He feels like that can work. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I kind of want him to buy Twitter. I kind of want this because like I just want to know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
Otherwise, he's
it's
gonna try
very
to
very interesting.
yeah, he's gonna try to maybe buy another platform that's like Twitter, but there's nothing bigger than Twitter. So
Twitter got the founders advantage. They came first. They got like a big user base already. So even anything
yeah,
that comes out
Mhm.
after, it's gonna be
exactly.
you can't really compete. So I think
Unless
That's
they
why YouTube's so big still. Like no one can like they have
right,
the founders advantage.
yeah. So we'll see.
Well, to go on along
Mhm.
with that, let's talk about China's Shanghai's COVID lockdown.
Oh, crazy.
You guys seen those videos?
Dude,
I
I've
have
seen the
not.
videos.
You haven't seen the you have not seen the
I
videos?
haven't like I
No.
haven't read up on it. I was hoping that you would tell me.
I mean,
I was like, I know
it's
because
literally essentially they just locking everything down again. Like because it's like a ghost town. It's like a post apocalypse, and it's literally you know those Boston 3000 robots like the company that used to have those running dogs robots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
they legit
I
have those
saw
things
it.
running around the street with a megaphone attached to it, saying like, "Wear your mask, stay indoor. This will be over if everyone just complies." Dude, it's like an episode from Black Mirror. Dude, that's straight up. Dude, that's straight up that episode. Remember that one
Which one?
I don't.
with the black and white. I think it was season two, and it was all those Boston 3000 robots running around like hunting those two people. You don't remember that episode?
Oh yes, yes, I do remember.
Yeah,
They were hunting humans in like that huge mansion, right? It was
yeah,
like a really nice house.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, dude,
That's straight up.
forgot about that.
Is the robot 3000. I mean, that's straight up. That's the same robot that they use in China right now. Um, and then they have all these
Is it
drones
because?
flying around at night, like telling you what to
Yeah.
like. Because people, apparently, people are opening their windows up at night and like screaming and yelling in frustration
Screaming.
and singing and stuff. So then the drones are flying around telling people to like shut up and just comply. Dude, it's crazy, man.
That's
Anyway,
crazy, man.
but
That's so
my
scary.
point I want to bring this how it ties into Twitter is because like remember back then when like Facebook and Twitter was saying like COVID information has changed so much, right? Like what we
Mhm.
found out about COVID has like changed and evolved to now where what people were saying was conspiracy back then is they saying it's fact now, right? Like
What
vaccination
is?
stuff, like wearing masks,
Uh-huh.
like locking
Uh-huh.
down. Like people's like,
Right.
hey, lockdown's probably not gonna do anything, and like you say that you get banned. And people nowadays, and now people kind of scientists just kind of be like, dude, you know what? It's gonna stay. There's no need to lock down. We can't crash the economy with this. Let's just
Mhm.
let everyone's vaccinated, so let's just let everything go out. So the science changes. But my point was with like Twitter and Facebook and stuff back then was it's kind of censor all those things. When they shut, just kind of let
Mhm.
it let the discussion be had. Dude, they were literally like deleting videos of like Harvard scientists and doctors and stuff, or Yale like doctors, epidemiologists, like saying anything that's kind of not in agreement with what they say, with what the government and
Mhm.
with what Twitter and Facebook agree to say. So they kind of shut
Mhm.
you down. So that's a
Mhm.
big problem with their censorship because it is very, you know, for me personally, I felt like there was an agenda that was going on. Because you don't want these platforms to turn into I've been looking a lot into like China's like censorship and stuff. This
Oh
like
yeah, for
people
sure.
don't realize how much censorship China has. Like literally everything that you do in China when you go on the web is monitored by the government, and everything
Mhm.
that you do that say bad things about government, they will delete everything. They will delete your whole social account. They will come to your house and delete you.
Yeah, man.
But like think about that. Remember, I don't think you guys know about this, but there was a tennis player, female tennis player that she was like top, like I think like top 10, like tennis player in the world, and she came out with this allegations of sexual assault against one of the high Chinese official. Literally the next day, all her social media account was down. Like she was nowhere to be found, and then like
Oh shit.
Nowhere to be found.
nowhere to be found, dude. And then
What?
like a week later, you see like a post on her social media with her like looking all weird and shit, but she's like smiling, but it's like a room full of like stuffed animals, and the post is like, "Oh, I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for caring about me." But you can totally tell that she like she's probably in like some like random house in the rural of nowhere, like under gunpoint or something. Yeah, but it's crazy. Anyway, so China stuff. So they locking down Shanghai again, and the problem is that it shows the Omicron variant is so infectious that you know it's less lethal than Delta and Alpha, right? But we know
Right.
it's a
Right.
lot more. We know that it's a lot more infectious. So there's been a rising rates of COVID
Cases.
in Shanghai, China, despite the fact that they're locking down. So, and when I say lockdown, it's not what you think, like in the U.S. Like when you guys are locked down here, like oh yeah,
Yeah. We still go out
Let
and
me order
yeah,
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
Yeah, let me order the stuff. Let me get Taco Bell. Dude, when you in China, you literally can't even open your door.
Yeah.
How would they get food? And that's what I'm wondering. How,
They
how do they
don't.
get
They don't.
like?
Like
You just gotta like, live
the
off your
government will ration
backyard.
you food.
Yeah.
Like in Vietnam, they had to lock down Vietnam, and we have families over there.
Uh-huh.
Literally, what you do is like you literally just gotta line up like and pick out food from the government. And like some people don't have food. Like people just gotta break the COVID rule and risk getting fined and stuff to drive and like give their family food and stuff because the government is inefficient and they probably not gonna have food for everybody and people's they're not probably gonna not know the ration and stuff.
Did
Right.
you see that video of that guy? He's out in the street. It's like in front of the I don't know police department or something, just like screaming his head off. He's like, "How can I feed
Can
my
you
family and stuff?" Like
can you
he
pull
has
up the
bills to
video?
pay. No,
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 our
I don't know how to
technology is
do that.
not good enough for that.
Share
Yeah,
share your screen.
My computer is probably
but like,
crashed.
yeah, we got to figure that out somehow. That'd be cool. So we could look things
Yeah.
up and fact check because Tin always says facts.
Have you
Yeah.
guys ever done this on Discord? You just share your share your screen.
Oh yeah, we could try Discord. I have Discord.
I feel like it's a lot easier yet
We're
better
too
quality.
old for Discord. I think our generation.
You're younger than me.
But anyways, yeah, I don't think they definitely can't go to the supermarket or like even order anything from the supermarket. They're literally just eating their whatever they have in the pantry, whatever they have saved, and then the government, like Chin says, rations food to them and stuff.
And
That's
like think
crazy,
about
man.
these families, there's like a bunch of families who kind of just like have day by day, like um like just like vendors, like day by day, like they just go out, they wake up early in the morning, make food and stuff, they sell for the day, they get enough
Yeah.
profits and stuff, bring stuff back home, and then make it ready for the next day. Those type of families not gonna last.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna starve. Like they have nothing prepared. They don't have all the resources that they need.
Nope. Yeah.
It's terrible, man. But they still insisting on this, despite the fact that it shows that like, locking down is like Switzerland and stuff. They stopped lockdown way before the U.S. did, and they did just fine. So, especially with Omicron not
Omicron?
being as like lethal anymore. But
Are they
Wasn't there a new
vaccinated? Sorry.
variant?
apparently, but remember they're not vaccinated with Pfizer or Moderna. They vaccinated with their own vaccines. And
The Switzerland
from
vaccine?
no, I think China has their own vaccine. They came out with two.
Oh, you're talking
It's-
about China stuff. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I got a little lost.
But their vaccines is apparently it's not mRNA. From what the research I did back then, it's more kind of like a flu vaccine where it's kind of like antibodies.
Mhm.
So it's only like 50-60% efficacy. But
Well, so maybe that's why they're locking down, because their vaccines don't work as well too. So,
well, apparently they've done such a good job. From you know the reported death rate is like literally like zero.
abysmal.
Zero or something?
Nothing.
They saying no, they saying that they have no death rate from COVID. They've done such a good job that they literally have no mortality death.
Well, what about in the beginning when they didn't even think it was?
You tell me
Bad.
you don't even count it because it wasn't COVID in the beginning. Remember?
It was something else.
Yeah, it was just some unknown. You die. You classify as some other thing besides COVID.
Oh man.
I'm thinking about like how would they classify, because what if someone came in with like a heart attack and then they got COVID and then they died? You know, like would that be considered they died because of a heart attack, or it could die because of COVID?
Yeah, that's a big thing that epidemiologists and doctors in the U.S. is kind of like coming out against the CDC too, because they're like, why are you guys being transparent with your data? Like when you talk about mortality caused by COVID, is it concurrent COVID? Like is it happening with that person who having COVID, or is it caused by COVID? Because the data they give out doesn't specify. It's not clear on those things with the CDC and stuff. So a lot of epidemiologists and doctors actually kind of push back against the CDC. That's why there's like a lot of tension between like professional health people and the CDC and the FDA stuff. It's been a heck of a train wreck. You can say incompetency or maliciousness, who knows? But yeah, you're right. It's like they don't make the data clear.
It's hard though. How do you know? Well, COVID caused the death, or was it the secondary pneumonia that caused the death? Because I don't know how you're gonna find a definitive answer. So I think
Well, no. So like just like what, like let's say what Daniel said, like the person came in, has COVID and also a heart attack. Let's say that
Like
person
they came in with a heart attack, right? And then in the hospital they acquired COVID through like
yeah, I know, I get it, but like, how are you going to know the exact answer? There's like, I just think it should be like another category where it's just like, oh, this person has caught COVID and they also had a heart attack, right? But we don't know. So this is like another category. This is like we just don't know. So it shouldn't be counted, or we should just have another column for
sure,
this.
yeah,
This
that'd be
group of
a
people,
good
you know
idea,
what I mean?
Yeah,
And then there's,
concurrent,
like-
caused by, and then like
Yeah.
unknown but has COVID or something.
Yeah.
Which is
Versus
easy,
like someone who
which
like
is easily
someone who,
done.
like,
It's like easily doable. It's not like you can't do it. It's easy. You literally just gotta list it, right? Like you have the data of the information in the hospital course. All you
Yeah.
gotta do is just list it. But for some reason they didn't want to do that. Or maybe they have the data but they don't want to show it. Who knows? but I don't think it's that hard to do.
Hmm.
There's a lot of variables too. So it's like the the doctor that wrote, the death note or whatever, they could document it differently too. You know, so I think there's like
Can
different.
you? Can you? I don't know. I just never. I was never in that setting. So like, I
Uh,
mean, from like medical students, like,
I
can
just
you
know
do
that
that?
there are doctors that document it differently.
Uh
Just
huh.
so like maybe they could get more money or from the insurance or things like
Hmm.
that, so it could be covered. And it's all
Or
based on
like,
what you say. Yeah.
Dude, that's a good point. Oh, you're right.
like it's
Does that make sense?
Well,
incentivize.
for the sake of Daniel and like the public listeners, so when you
Yeah.
write a death certificate, like you literally list like differential diagnosis, kind of like differential diagnosis, but you list like number one cause of death, and then you list all these other causes too
Right.
that contribute to the death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but no, like I think I makes a good point that because I think like you list a person like die of COVID or something, then you get paid by the government. Like the government give you money because for treating the patient with
Yeah.
COVID. No, that's a good point actually. I didn't
Dude,
think of
that's
So
that.
there
why
is
I just
a.
think there's just so much. There needs to be a lot of investigation. And I don't think that we would ever find the answer, but I know, just like in general, a lot of
Mhm.
doctors document their things differently because insurance thing is such a big deal too. It,
Right, and
it
then like
really matters.
yeah, it's also gonna affect their like outcome measures. That's gonna affect their pay and their
Yeah.
like yeah. No, you're right.
So
Like
there is some
just
sort of incentivization
yeah.
to put COVID.
Yeah. I'm not
It
I'm
could be
not
a
trying
thing.
to like talk smack on like doctors and stuff, but like I just
It's
know that it does matter.
it's reality.
Just
Hmm.
just the fact that that is an issue, like, you know, like for when a person comes into the hospital and they get admitted, when you put the admitting diagnosis, it does really matter. Like if this person came with like acute hypoxia, you know, and you put
Hmm.
something like, oh, we're just monitoring them because like they're having trouble breathing. Like I know no one writes that, but if you put like difficulty breathing versus acute hypoxia, respiratory failure, like
Right.
one will get billed more than the other. The other one might not even get
Uh,
billed at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then
yeah, yeah.
And that's just
you
like
kind of have
one
more time to
example.
play. Yeah, like you can because like when admin come by and ask you why are you keeping this patient with difficulty breathing for like 5 days,
Yeah,
or versus if you have the patient oh this do have COVID, acute respiratory failure due to
yeah,
COVID,
Right.
then maybe you can keep the patient for like 10 days or something. So that's also the admin gonna be on your back about that stuff too.
yeah. There's so many variables. So I feel like all of this, like combined, really affects the data that we get. So it's like,
I think you're right, man.
Uh,
That's a good point.
Next level thinking.
That's a good point. I never really
I
thought
don't,
about that.
but it's something that we'll never find, man. It's just, yeah,
You can be sure that there's probably some kind of fraud going on.
yeah, just because of that. Yeah, I know for sure. So,
All right, that's what I got for Shanghai COVID lockdown. What you got?
uh, slap fighting championship.
Is,
You guys,
is
you
that
guys
what you
watch
saw
that?
recently, or what?
Yeah, I just literally saw it this morning.
There's actually a
Slap
championship. I
fighting.
mean, I seen clips
Logan,
and stuff, dude. Those that look brutals, bro.
yeah,
I'll just
Logan Paul hosted a slap fighting championship with Arnold Schwarzenegger as like a guest, just like
Oh my
spectator.
god. Oh, spectator. 'Cause
Yeah,
I feel
he's
like that
just on
guy's
the
gonna
stage
die. He's
watching.
gonna die.
Oh no, I know he's old. Dude. He's just on the stage watching. But yeah, it's a brutal sport. I don't know if it's considered a professional sport right now, but dude, just like the health hazard that comes with it. It's like literally people getting concussions left and right,
yeah.
getting knocked out. It's intense. But wait, I just wanted to point out something funny. So during the finals, I don't know if it's finals. I didn't really read, but like just two huge guys, one from like some European person, I don't know, and the other one is from Hawaii. And it's so funny because like when the European guy is coming, he does this tactic where he like tucks his chin in, you know,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
I guess it's supposed to because like it's like a known thing for boxers that if you have a bigger chin, you have more of like kind of this ricochet back, so then you'll like get knocked out more. So even people
Oh,
think a big chin is like, oh, you have a lot of defense, but no, you actually have a higher chance of getting knocked out because you have like that recoil. So the guy knows, so he tucks his chin in, and like the whole crowd is like, what is this guy doing? Like he's obviously cheating. It's just so funny, you know. So and it actually works. He actually ends up winning because of that technique. He's
Yeah.
just like, and then the Hawaiian guy's like, "What the heck, man? You can't do that." And then he points out that all the referees from Europe. So he's like, "There's not one American referee here," and stuff like that. So it's pretty funny. You guys should watch it. But yeah, he eventually gets knocked out. The Hawaiian guy gets knocked out. He loses. So I don't know. There needs to be some sort of a new rule that says that you can't tuck in your chin.
wait. So the how the game goes or how the sport goes is that
Oh, I
you're
should have
facing
been.
off, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you slap each other until one of you guys knock out, or how's that
Yeah, yeah.
work?
You take turns, go back and forth, just slapping each other until one of you guys knock out. It depends because like this one was special. It's like 5 rounds,
Mhm.
you know. And then I think if nobody gets knocked out, then the judges like score based on like how how, how strong the slap was and how the person that got slapped, like how he responded. Like, was it like a mini knockout or what? You know. So
Yeah.
like, there's a score system that I don't know about. I should read up more on it because it's pretty interesting. But if it's a KO, then it's a KO. Both of these guys were undefeated, you know. So it was a big face off. But like the whole chin thing, I've been watching this for a while. Like that's the first time I've seen that. I'm like, dude, like it's so obvious he's trying to cheat.
That's not cheating. That guy just playing at another level, man.
That's true. That's true. He's like sciencing it. Like I decreased my chin. Yeah, but it's fun.
It's pretty good.
Girls do it too. There's a girl slap.
There's a girl one. Oh
Yeah, yeah.
god.
There's a girl. So it's not a sexist. Okay, there's a girl. Yeah.
uh,
I don't know. Is he? Well, why don't we let the men compete with a woman?
she's gonna get knocked out, man.
Well, why do you say that, Daniel?
Dude, have you seen the size of a guy's hand versus a size of a girl's hand? It ain't right.
Are you
Yeah, man.
saying there's differences between the genders and the sexes?
I'm just saying. Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, I obviously I think there is.
Dude, you know
Think
what?
about it. Okay, a guy that power lifts, his obviously his hand is gonna be like way more meatier than like the girl,
Okay, then
and you just
what?
gotta like,
What if the guy? What you make the guy go on? Hormone blockers and take estrogens.
oh, okay, that's a different story. I don't know. I thought we were talking about his guy versus girl. Is it
Well,
like straight up?
now we're transitioning to it.
Transitioning. Oh man, I don't know, dude.
No,
That's
we can
not
talk
safe.
about this on a different
And then,
podcast. Um,
Yeah.
when we have Ashley on here again.
well, all four of us.
Yeah.
Too much testosterone right now. We can talk about obesity or the lesbian couple. What do you guys want to talk about?
What lesbian couple?
So there's a lesbian couple that sues the fertility clinic because they give them the wrong sex embryo, and she got pregnant with the wrong sex baby.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Or whatever you guys want to do. This is your podcast. This is your
Wait.
podcast.
Hold on. So, the story I know I talk about.
You got cut out, but say that again.
So that's it. That so she sues the clinic for giving the wrong baby or the
Hmm.
wrong gender?
Yeah, wrong
Hmm.
gender, baby.
Well, okay, I feel like even if it wasn't a lesbian couple, like that's messed up, right? Aren't you supposed to get the right one? I don't know how it is.
Well, yeah, well, we can talk about it then. Do you guys know how IVF works?
Yes,
I wasn't really clear about
but
it, so I had to look it up.
Yeah,
apparently, I think you can also choose your gender, right? They're supposed
yeah.
to. That's what my doctor told me. Like it's like spinning the sperm, whatever, and it separates out the boy and girl. I don't know,
Well,
but
no,
you take.
that is one method, but that's not as reliable as the other one that they use, which is
Oh,
pre-gestational um genetic something testing. Yeah.
so what does that entail, or how does that work? Please explain
So
for the rest and our viewers.
okay, so IVF essentially basics is so you inject a woman in the uterus with FSH. That's going to cause follicle stimulating hormones. That's going to cause the ovaries to start the ovaries and the follicles to start developing and maturing, and then you literally just go in. So you want it to mature as much as you can, as many ovaries as you can, as many eggs, and you're gonna go in and then you suck up as all the eggs as you can. And you bring the eggs out, and then for the guys, you just collect the sperm. The guy just masturbate and ejaculate, and then collect the sperm. So
Okay.
for the PGT, the pre-gestational genetic testing, you
Hmm.
would um, fertilize the sperm and the egg to make an embryo, right? And then you
Right.
can just do the genetic testing on the embryo itself. So so the whole idea for that is to screen out for any genetic uh, diseases. Like genetic, like
Uh-huh.
muscular, like Duchenne or Becker's or all these things that can cause a problem for the baby. But
Right.
now people can also use this to do sex selection.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
How's that possible? Since like a lot of pregnancies, like you don't know what the sex is until
I
like
mean,
what's it, the
so
third
you just look
trimester?
at the embryo and you see which one, if it has the X or it has the XY,
Oh,
because it's already fertilized.
of course.
Yeah.
When I
If
think
it
about
wasn't,
that.
if it wasn't fertilized, then yeah, it'd be 50-50. But in this case, you already fertilized it, so you can just take a look at it.
True.
Crazy.
So one thing I want to bring up is like there's an ethical, is it ethical for you guys to do this, to do the sex selection beforehand? What do you guys think?
I don't know, man. It just seems like we're getting closer and closer to what Gattaca is.
Oh, I love
You guys
that
remember that
movie.
movie? Yeah, the movie Gattaca. It's just literally you're
Bro,
choosing what you want for your baby.
I want my baby
Right?
to
You
be
want it,
6'5", so it could be
yeah, six
at the
foot
end.
five.
This is just
You
an
know,
NBA
like
2K player creator screen wingspan.
Yeah, dude.
yeah, it's like I think that's what it goes towards.
Okay, well, you're not
Or
answering my
moving
question.
towards.
So what is your stance on this?
I am against it.
You're against it?
Yeah, I'm
You're against
against it.
what? Sex selection?
I'm against, yeah, sex selection or anything that you. I think there should be some sort of randomization to like your genetic material. Yeah, I feel like if you were to select something, it just doesn't. It's not good because I think humans or like people were prone to just want what's the best, but what we get is often, you know, bad for your baby or something.
So you're saying that because like a normal couple
Uh-huh.
that's making a baby and they have randomized choices, like the people that are getting the in vitro should also have randomized selection as well.
Uh,
They should,
I don't
what I'm
know.
trying to say, or
Maybe I'm just against in vitro fertilization, IVF.
somebody just against that overall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Wait. So okay. Well, let's get into that. Why are you against IVF in the first place?
Why am I being attacked?
Oh, we want to hear your thoughts. You gotta clarify your stance, bro.
Okay, I think I don't really thought much about it, but I just don't think that. Oh, actually, I don't know. It could be good for couples that can't conceive. At the same time, people will like. I think over they would overutilize or what's it called? Use it for their own purposes and gains to get what they want, right?
To create super babies.
To yeah, to make super babies.
It's pretty expensive. It's probably like $10,000 for the whole process. Um, but
I don't know,
How much does it
10,000.
cost to adopt?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know.
$10,000 to make a new baby. How much does it cost to adopt?
Well, $10,000 for just
Nothing.
that one process.
Let me see.
So like
Oh.
you might not even get it the first try. You gotta keep going.
So
So
to me,
so
I
it
feel
can
like
cost.
this is something.
From what I'm reading, like each time you have about like maximum of like 40% chance of like
40% chance?
plus 40% chance of like having a successful IVF. So a lot of people,
That's crazy.
yeah, you gotta pay a little bit more for.
All right, so this is what I think that regardless of how much it costs, we just know that it's really expensive, right?
It's not too expensive. It's actually really popular. Like, there's been a rise of it because there's been increased infertility rates for the past 10 years. So
Right.
there's been a rise in.
So
in
that's
this,
So that's the other use, right? For couples that can't have babies,
especially
right?
Mhm.
high career professional couples like doctors and stuff.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not saying I'm against IVF. Right. But the sex selection, right? It really does open the doors to like what Daniel's saying. Like, if you can select sex, why can't you select, the hair color or the eye color and all this stuff?
Well, we don't have the
Right?
power yet, but
We don't have that power yet, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
But I think it's only a matter of time till
it is.
we
It is a
can.
matter of time. The more we get advanced technology, the more we do this sex selection, and we could be like, okay, maybe let's try to test this out to get like this
Mhm.
other trait, right?
Right.
So I just feel like, in terms of that, I'm okay as long as it doesn't cause harm for other people. You know, I think that's what my stance is right now.
Okay. Well,
My,
what do you
my
mean? What do you mean causing harm for other people? How would you cause harm by selecting the sex of your baby?
Well, think about this. What if everyone does IVF, right? Then you're gonna have
So
you're gonna have like a selected like group, like literally we're just gonna have giants.
no, that's straight up. Remember when China passed the one child policy?
Yeah.
yeah,
So what
that's
did
what they
happen?
want. See, that's
A
like
lot of people aborted other women because they just wanted to keep the boys. So now you have a bunch of men
Yeah,
compared to
that's
women.
what I mean. Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It causes harm to like the literally human species. Okay.
but that's what I was saying earlier. Like your choices can have inadvertently, negative side effects or negative outcomes that you did not expect in the first place, right? So I think if you were to do it all randomized, it should be that would be fair, right? But if you were to have the selection for something, it wouldn't be fair anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like there would be a negative outcome or a negative side effect of your choices of what you're doing, even if it was for good like intentions.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's
guess.
also an argument for that. For people who, let's say they have like 3 girls already, and they're like, what, we gotta make sure that we don't want any girls. We kind of balance it out, and we'll make sure it's a boy. So in that case, that's what people use it for too. So my
I'm
problem
talking
with
about more.
go ahead.
Wait,
Your
one
thought.
more thing. Let me finish. Yeah. So I'm thinking like way more in advance, as in like the human species in general, right? Because like let's think about evolution, okay?
Okay.
So the what's the term where like it's natural selection, like the stronger
Uh-huh.
will live and then they'll breed and
Yeah, natural
they'll
selection.
have more,
Survival of the
yeah,
fittest.
survival of the fittest, right? Yeah. So let's say that every IVF gets huge and like literally we can start selecting these like strong,
Super babies.
offspring, like literally super smart, super strong, super fast, everything super super, right? So in terms of that, what it does to the human species, do you feel like that will help the human species be like we would evolve to literally, you know, to another level, or is this gonna
Well,
hurt us in the
we'll
end? See that I'm still thinking about it,
we'll just have a bunch of Brad Pitts and Scarlett
Angelina,
Johansson running
right?
around.
Right. But
Because
is
like
that
obviously
bad or
everyone's gonna
good?
pick like you know what I want my baby to have like whatever they think is let's say Western the standard for beauty is usually like westernized, so I want my baby to have like a tall nose, double eyelid eyes, uh
Hmm.
blonde hair, blue eyes or green eyes, and good muscle mass for boys, and at least 6 feet
Hmm.
tall because that's what usually women wants until we all the average start rising, then you know so all the boys can be over 6 feet. And for women, it's gonna
Yeah.
be like, yeah, I want my girls to have, big butt, big breasts, you
So
know,
that's what I'm saying. So
beautiful
this is
facial
the
structure.
harm.
Yeah. No,
This
you're
is
right.
the
So
harm.
then eventually it's
It's
gonna be
gonna
so all these
eradicate.
babies, all these beautiful babies can start coming out, and then they're gonna get, you know, they're gonna be reproducing a lot because they have the good genes and they be good looking, so they can get all the mates, and then all their babies gonna be, reproducing more than the average person. So then, yeah, you're right. Natural selection that kick in, and you have eventually a bunch of beautiful men and women running around. That's
You're gonna
taller than the
eradicate a
average.
whole,
That's
eradicate the whole
assuming.
species. You're gonna eradicate like other races and ethnicity and stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
basically.
Everyone's just start. That's what I mean by everyone's to start looking like Brad Pitt and Scarlett Johansson.
That's a negative outcome.
So that's
Side
what I'm
effect.
saying. Like, is that what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want or not? I think that's what would lead if we open that door and it
yeah.
comes to that. That's just gonna happen in the future.
Yeah,
That's what I predict.
that's a
So
good. That's a good concept for a dystopian sci-fi novel. Yeah,
Isn't that Gattaca?
I forgot to ask. Like,
yeah.
we got asked this in the beginning of the podcast. Like, like something you guys read or watched recently that you guys want to share. We can do that now, I guess.
Right now, okay.
I can go first. What do you guys think? Um, I'm listening to the audiobook Ready Player Two. So I read the Ready Player One book. I don't know if you guys read it yet. I watched the movie.
I
One of
did.
my
I
favorites.
did. I read the book.
Very good. Ready Player 2, 2020 it came out. And also, dude, it's literally just like the metaverse, like idealized. It was realized. So the difference Ready Player 1 and Ready Player 2 is in Ready Player 2, you have this is the crazy premise where I know you have the Oculus Quest on. So this is the crazy premise where now in Ready Player 2, the technology advanced so much where you can feel everything, experience everything,
What?
sense everything, and taste everything. So you can literally go into the metaverse. I don't call it the metaverse. It's called the Oasis, but it's pretty much just like the metaverse. You have your
Hmm.
avatar and stuff. You go in there
Yeah.
and you can like eat an apple and you taste like an apple and you feel full like an apple. And
Mhm.
so craziest premise is this dude is like so people you can start uploading your experiences and people can
Hmm.
download your experiences and they can experience what you experience. So let's say surfing. I never. Oh my! I surf for that's not good. Let's say skiing. Like if
Hmm.
I can literally go and look up skiing and download someone's experience of skiing where they actually went skiing, they can record it with their like let's say GoPro or whatever, but for them it's
Yeah.
special, and you can literally feel like you skiing, experience the wind sensation, everything, feel everything, and experience the adrenaline rush and everything. Okay,
It's kind of like the Matrix.
Oh yeah. Literally
pretty
You
much.
just
amazing.
download. You just
Yeah,
download what you need
it's the
to
same
learn, and
concept,
you just learn it.
but more
Download the
modernized.
modules.
But yeah,
Yep.
but they straight up just like later there, like they just plugged in for like 12 hours a day. crazy thing. You think about it. I didn't think about this, dude. Like, let's say OnlyFans, right? They were talking about this. They didn't talk about OnlyFans, but let's say like sexual experiences.
Uh-huh.
This guy was talking about how he how he experienced like every possible sexual experience. Like he like doing like let's say like anal sex with like a dude and he's receiving it. He experienced that, and he's the one giving it. He experienced that. He experienced like having sex as a woman. Um, it's
Whoa.
like what the heck? Like you think about that, yeah. Actually, like you can if you have all this kind of technology, and it was
Mhm.
crazy. So I thought it was pretty interesting. That's why
That was in the
interesting
book.
too. That was in the book. He didn't talk about OnlyFans and stuff, but literally talked about
Just
like
any
yeah,
experiences.
I've had sex, like I experienced like all kind of sexual like experience, like orgies and stuff, and which you think about it, literally every single new technology that people come up with, like the first application for it is probably gonna be like porn or something.
So then Ready Player 2, I thought Ready Player 1 already had that type of technology. Didn't they have the
When they
haptic
had that
suit and stuff?
technology, but there's no sensation of feelings and thing. You will only
Oh,
it's just like Oculus Quest where you kind of put
I
on
thought they
you
felt pain, no?
no, you don't feel any pain. There's no sensations or anything.
Oh, I thought they did. Okay. Yeah, I read the book too, but that was a while ago.
Yeah,
Six,
Ready Player
7 years.
2. Yeah, you actually have like this the option to kind of turn down your pain threshold so you don't feel too much pain, and like kind of
Mm.
regulate your emotions with so like it will suppress your anger and stuff if you're in real life, but your avatar will show and stuff. But it's very very interesting. Yeah, so that's what I got. What do you guys got?
Damn. Um, I watched
The
this
slap
like
championship for you, huh?
no, I watched this a while ago. It was pretty interesting. Did you guys hear about this secret society where they think that they're like secret space agents that
No.
have been brainwashed, or not brainwashed, but their memory has been wiped by like their enemies, so then they don't know that they're like a part of this huge secret space society that
Is that
is supposed
Scientology?
to. No, it's not Scientology. It's another one. But anyways, like so, but then they're the reason why they know it exists is because like people like the first guy claimed like, oh, I got a little bit of my memory back. Like, oh, I remember I was like this secret spy, like that was like 8 foot tall, and I could like fly to the moon in like 2 seconds, or whatever, right? And like I'm getting glimpses of these, and like I feel like my memory's coming back. And then he says like, but there are like more of us out there. So like he puts it on the internet, and he's like, oh, if anybody's having this type of memory, like we should all get together and try to like recall our memory again so then we could fight back. But anyway, so basically you could join this club as long as you keep up with the ever ongoing story. So like it started off with one guy, right? And then another guy says, oh, I remember that. And then obviously they're making this all up, but they have so many people that joined this club and made a consistent story, like a timeline that actually makes sense,
Wow.
like almost like a
Hmm.
novel. So if you were to just learn the whole history that they confabulated, right, and you add a little timeline that makes sense, then they'll be like, oh my god, like he's another puzzle piece to our huge puzzle, and then they'll recruit you to their society. So there's this journalist, right? He's just like us average people, and he's like, I'm gonna infiltrate this society. So like he literally learns the whole background of this society. He knows the whole story. He studied it for months, and then he gets on with this one of the famous head. Like he's like the almost the founder of the story, right? And he gets like an interview with him, right? And then he gets the story so succinct, so straight that like the founder was like, "Wow, can I come like meet you in real life and we could have like a legitimate interview?" And like he tells his whole journey about like flying to this guy's house, and like they had like a whole society or a whole like convention in Vegas where he met people that could bend spoons or say that they could bend spoons and do all his magic stuff. And then at the end of it all, he's like he felt like he almost believed in it. Like he felt
The
like he was
journalist.
he felt like he was a samurai that was to like destroy a human species with one slash of his samurai sword and stuff. Like he started getting brainwashed himself. So it was very interesting. Yeah.
That's
It's so
funny.
just look him up. It's OKI's Weird Stories. He's a journalist and like yeah,
Wait, so this is like
OKI.
real?
Huh? Yeah,
You mean like this is like a real?
it's an actual group of people that actually believe that they're part of this secret organized society here.
Was it OKI
Oh
story?
shoot! I thought this is like a fictional story or something. I was like, oh, yeah, this is actually kind of real.
No, so like yeah, it's his videos how I infiltrated a bizarre cult.
Hmm.
Was it called OKI story?
Yeah, OKI comma or apostrophe S OKI's Weird Stories on YouTube. Yeah, dude, it's so crazy. His he has high quality videos that he only posts every like 3 months
Mm,
because it takes so long. Like he literally had to study their story, to infiltrate.
makes
um,
sense.
it's so crazy because yeah, so that was just interesting. There's like these crazy cult societies out there that really truly believe some crazy story, just like Scientology, right? So and and
Dang. He only has like 20 videos.
yeah, but they're all high quality. Watch the gay frogs one too. That's a really good one.
See the gay frog? Oh, I've
Yeah.
seen it.
Have you guys heard about that? That
No.
one's
No,
good too.
it was 30 minutes long.
No, but that one's like has science facts.
Oh, really?
Apparently
Uh,
there was a
a
chemical
gr-
in the
uh-huh.
water that was turning all the frogs like gay. Like literally it would make them have sex change because they would drink the
Uh,
water. And then this was like a pesticide that would help farmers, you know, get rid
yeah.
of their pesticide. But like a scientist did a study and everything and saw that it was changing all these frogs into from male to female. And then it got released and then
Hmm.
people started reading on it. It was like, wait, what if it's changing my kids? Is this why
Like making them gay.
is this why my son is turning gay? And like, no, it's pretty crazy. And then apparently the people who made the chemical, the company that made the chemical, um, uh, uh, originally hired this scientist to have like to help them um, get rid of this rumor. Like, no, it's not causing any sex changes and anything. But then it turns out that the result that he got was actually the opposite. Like it was actually changing the frogs, And then
Yeah.
they like fired him and they try to like basically take down all his experiments and stuff. But he's still trying to speak out like this is their chemicals actually doing this. Like it's scientifically changing. Um, but I never really followed up like if the company got bankrupt or whatever. But yeah, that was a whole big thing too. So you
You
guys should
see
read
what
up
else the
about
company
that.
makes.
Yeah. So that's what I've been. Oh, I watched that a long time ago. Just wanted to bring it up.
I got nothing, man. I haven't seen anything seen in a while.
It's fine.
Mochi.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much like the hour mark. But you want to talk about your weight loss journey? You want, Daniel?
Yeah, sure. Let's see here. So I started intermittent. I don't know if it's called intermittent fasting anymore, but
Yeah, I should
essentially
say
what I
this.
do is I fast 24 hours twice a week. So I do it on my rest days and one on like the weekend. Because I know on the weekends I tend to like binge eat and like go out and eat like crazy with friends. So if you're fasting, you wouldn't be like ruining your diet. So essentially, I think it is a very restricted calorie restriction diet. Um, right now, I think I'm plateauing. I was at 210, started at 210, and within 3 weeks, I dropped down to 202. So it's about
8,000 3 weeks.
yeah,
Dang.
that's manageable. That's not bad, I guess. And now I'm just plateauing. It's like I don't think I've dropped anymore. I think,
Nice.
but I mean, like strength wise and like muscle, I guess. I've been making gains on strength, right? During my fast, in the middle of the fast, like the day after, we were doing PRs, and I did was it 295, 295 on the bench. So that was 2 plates and 35s. So I think strength wise, you don't really lose any like strength.
Right. I know that was
Muscle
one of your
wise,
fear,
maybe.
right?
Yeah, yeah. I was really afraid. I was like, dude, like if I was to like start fasting, like I would start losing weight and losing strength because I really want to get into that 1,000 pound club, but I couldn't, right? Um, yeah, so that was one of the fears. But it turns out that your muscle or your strength loss is not really there. Not completely, I guess. Um, maybe some muscle loss that comes naturally with like any kind of weight loss. Um,
Well, no,
but
but
yeah,
if you have muscle loss, then you wouldn't be making strength gain.
no, I think strength gains and muscle is like relative, but like it's
What
not
do you mean is not? What do you mean is not?
like you could get like you can see Tim like he's like super skinny, but he's like super strong. You know what I'm saying? Like he like if you could be like skinny and also be like relatively strong. It's kind of relative.
But relative to you though, like let's say you were lifting 275 before,
Uh
and then
huh.
now you lost 10 pounds, but you're still lifting 275. I don't think that means you lost muscle because that means your muscles stay the same.
It could be because you just got more of a I don't know maybe more muscle connection or muscle mind connection.
Like you
You
just got
just
better at the lift.
yeah you just got better at the lift. It's a skill, like that's a lot of what the power lifters say.
There is a
Lifting is a
technicality
skill.
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
yeah,
I don't know. I'll say that means if you making gains and stuff, that means you maintain your muscle, if not gain more muscles, while still losing fats. That's
yeah.
good, man. Yeah, so essentially Daniel started doing intermittent fasting because I kind of, I kind of like, hey,
Tell them about the obesity code.
maybe you should try this out. We don't have time to get into the obesity stuff. I'm probably gonna make a separate YouTube video about it, but I changed my mind about obesity and stuff. But essentially, as like a bodybuilder, powerlifter for the past years, whatever, my my thoughts towards obesity was always like calories in, calories out. You just gotta watch what you eat. You eat less,
Hmm.
you burn more calories than what you eating in, then you should be good and you shouldn't gain weight. But I think after reading the book, it really kind of changed my mind about obesity. Obesity is the key takeaway for me is like obesity is very genetic. It's not. It's highly. A lot of people to be more predisposed to diabetes than the average population, and that's just something you gotta realize. You know, when I say it's genetic, doesn't mean that you have obesity in your family. It means you're gonna get obese too. It just means you're predisposed to it. You know, same. It's literally the same as if someone has a problem like alcoholism. It runs in the family. It's genetics. That's it's proven that it's linked. But just
Oh,
because,
really?
yeah,
I didn't know
alcoholism runs the
alcohol.
family, bro. So if you
What?
have the tendency to, like gambling addiction, addiction to alcohol, you'd be more likely to be disposed to it. So for those kind of people, you want to just be careful when you do drugs and drink alcohol and go gamble
Hmm.
because you'll be more likely than the average person to be addicted.
Dang, there's so many genetic links now.
Yeah, I
Never
mean,
know.
with the progress of science, we can find out a lot more like genetically. So, yes, for me, that's a big change for me. Like now, I can have a lot more empathetic toward like people who are obese rather than just being like callous and be like, why are you just watching what you eat? Because essentially,
So what if what if they have a genetic component, right? Like, okay, their whole family that you've been seeing as a family doctor, you know
Hmm.
that they've always been bigger, right? But then like the patient is still having that horrible lifestyle, just likes to sit at home, watch TV, watch YouTube, eat junk food, eat like shit, right?
Hmm.
That you're still gonna, you're saying that you still have empathy because at the back of your mind, you're like, okay, it's not her fault, it's her genes.
No, no, no. That's definitely not the case at all. If she's not do having a lifestyle change or anything, then that's definitely I have no empathy for that. That's just kind of your fault. You're on your own for that one. But my point is that I will be like, cause like when I see, usually when I see like a bigger, like a obese patient or something, I'm kind of like, you know, I was kind of like, you could have done something about this. And when they tell me, oh yeah, I try to eat healthy and I walk and exercise, I'm like, okay, but like, do you really like keep it up? And like, how much hard work are you putting in? Like, you sure you're keeping up your diet? So now my mindset
Hmm.
changed to that, like, you know what, they are doing all those things, so I'm gonna
So
believe
you
them.
give them benefit of doubt
Yeah, I'm gonna believe you,
a
and
little
then
bit.
you can try something else. I think one of the biggest thing, the key takeaway for this book was just like insulin is because this guy is a nephrologist, the diabetic specialist, so he's been treating diabetic
Hmm.
patients for a long time, and you just see that like it makes no sense for you to give like diabetic patient insulin when you tell them to lose weight, and but you need to treat them with insulin, but insulin makes them gain weight. So like the treatment that you give them is literally making it worse for them.
Oh,
So yeah,
counterintuitive. Wow.
yeah, literally the whole point the whole problem with obesity is just set point for insulin because they become so insulin resistant. It's insulin is making them fat. It's making insulin making you obese. So your set point for people with diabetes generally have insulin resistance, right? So that means their body just
Yeah.
have a higher
Hmm.
amount of insulin than normal typical people. So it's because of this, you need to help them reset the set point for insulin,
Right.
and he does this through intermittent fasting. So besides, so it's not he's not discrediting anything else. Like you still gotta watch what you eat. Like you gotta eat healthy food. You know, you gotta have a healthy diet. You gotta have a good workout plan. But you just gotta realize that those things, obesity is multifactorial. And you gotta do all these things along with the biggest thing that you gotta do is resetting your set point, and that's why I have Daniel try out the intermittent fasting to try and kind of decrease the set point of his insulin level. Because he makes a good point in that. So before you were eating 3 meals a day, right? Like breakfast, lunch, dinner. And
Kind
after
of.
you
I
eat,
would. Yeah.
well, not you, Daniel, but just
Oh.
like the typical Americans, right? They recommend 3 meals a day. Um, you eat a meal in the morning, and then your blood sugar spike, and then it drops before you eat again at lunch, right? But
Hmm.
but then there was like a wave of this thing where they recommend, hey, for you to lose weight, maybe you should eat 4 to 6 meals a day, eat smaller meals instead. That was the recommendation, right? So
Hmm.
now you eat your blood sugar spike, and then before it kind of like drops off, you eat again, so then your blood sugar spike again. So now you have an increased amount of insulin exposure
Hmm.
throughout the whole day. So that's a good point that he made, and he also made the fact he made the fact that breakfast is pretty much it's not the most important meal of the day. That was like all propaganda. The breakfast, cereal company kind of
Yeah.
brought out for you guys to eat. Can you think about it? Which healthy breakfast options are there really?
Not much.
Like literally,
Ham,
like
eggs,
the breakfast
sausage,
Bam.
staples.
potatoes.
Breakfast staples is like yeah,
I
like
feel like spam.
eggs and you know bacon and sausages. I don't think it's very healthy options for breakfast.
So
Hmm.
hope.
But yeah, so essentially that's like kind of like a summary of what I learned. So then like that's why I have Daniel try out this you know intermittent fasting thing, see if he can reset
It sucks, man.
reset his insulin. Yeah,
I'm always
it
hungry.
sucks. You always hungry?
Dude, I'm always hungry. Like, especially when the drug reps bring like lunch and stuff. They're like, dude, I really want to eat this, but you can't.
Yeah.
So you gotta wait till like,
Okay.
7,
When you
right?
say you're always hungry, do you mean just on your fasting days or like every day?
On your fasting day. Oh, on your fasting days for
Yeah,
sure.
just on your fasting day when
Uh,
you're hungry.
yeah, on the other days it's like that's okay, it's manageable. But I mean, on the other days, I'm also like back to like maintenance. I'm not like binge eating or anything. No.
Yeah.
Um, I do think that it's hard to keep the fasting phase if you're like trying to bodybuild and eat like 6 meals a day or something
Yeah.
with like protein spread out throughout the 6 meals, because you're always going to be having that insulin spike.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like this book doesn't really deal with like bodybuilders and you work out and stuff, athletes and stuff. This is more just for like the average population. So I kind of don't really know how to incorporate into my life and like bodybuilding and stuff. So, but come on, man, didn't you watch the new Jeff Nippers video where people intermittent fasting? You can still get. You don't need to eat. You can take in your body as long as you eat the good amount of protein throughout the day and not just one meal. You
Was
don't
it the
buy that?
new? I wasn't really
You didn't
listening
watch this
to
new
it.
book. Okay, so the
The
new
protein
protein
one.
science. Okay, before
Explain it to
people
us.
just kind of
Yeah.
they assume that the maximum intake of protein you can take in a meal is about 40 to 50 gram of protein, right?
Yeah, like 30, 40. Yeah.
So for bodybuilders and stuff, they try to eat about 1 gram of proteins per pound body weight. So for me, let's say I'm 170 pounds, I gotta eat at least like 160, 170 gram
170.
of proteins a day. And that makes no
Right.
sense if you have, that means I have to eat like 5 meals a day of 50-gram proteins each.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not 5 meals, like 4 meals. That's 200-gram proteins.
A
So
lot.
but like so Jet Nipper shows that the science show that um it's not necessarily how much you're taking in one meal. It's more of like how much protein you take in throughout the whole day. So you'll eat 2 meals, just and you need 200 gram proteins. You need to eat 100-gram protein in one meal, 100-gram protein in another meal. It just need to be all just
Mm.
50-gram proteins per meal.
I was also listening to this same protein subject with Dr. Mike Israetel, the other fitness guy. He was saying essentially, I think it was almost the same to that, where if you eat more than 1 gram, or your body needs at that point, you're just gonna use it for other metabolic processes, you know, such as burning fuel or something, or repairing your body. Like there's only, I think, I don't know, like how much protein you need to get into for the muscle building process.
Yeah,
So
I mean
there
it's
could
not
be
like you
like
eat
a cap or something.
it's not like you eat proteins and then you like just like poop it out. It's gonna stay in your system and you use it when you need it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the problem in the beginning was like how much protein you actually absorb, but
Wait, so
Yeah.
what
So you
happens if
absorb all of it.
you're just like drinking protein, eating protein a lot, but you're just like not working out and stuff?
You just get fat.
Just get fat, right?
Yeah, you
I
just get
mean
fat.
you won't get fat. You can have a high protein diet without working out, but as long as you're not eating like excess calories or something.
But high
I
protein
forgot the
is
science.
like
What does the protein go into?
excess calories.
Fat?
What do you mean? What do you mean protein is excess calories? You can decrease the amount of like carbs or like fat to get the same amount of calories in. What do you mean?
Like if you
Just
eat a
use the
high
fuel.
protein for your body weight, essentially it will be
You mean like
what's it, excessive calories.
the proteins would turn into fats?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Like it's just extra calories that
So, okay,
you're
let's say okay, no, but like you eat 2,000. Let's say person A eat 2,000 calories a day, and person B eat 2,000 calories a day. But person
uh-huh.
B just take in 100 gram of proteins versus person A takes in like 50 gram of protein. That's what I was saying, right?
Oh, okay.
Is that what you're saying on?
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
high protein
So like
diet,
the
but you
person
don't
B,
work
even
out.
though
Okay, okay.
person A and B don't work out, but person B just eat 100 gram, 50 more gram of protein than person A.
Oh,
Now what would
gotcha,
that do?
gotcha. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think it's gonna change much. Just you're just eating more proteins.
Yeah,
You're replacing fats or carbs and stuff with protein,
Yeah.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
I really. I just know you need your other macronutrients. Your fibers.
Yeah, I feel like
You need your
for the science of
carbs.
nutrition science and stuff, I think it's still really lagging behind. I don't think we know that much about nutrition. Like, 'cause since for the past like 50 years, there still hasn't been like good changes, like recommendation by the government for like the AHA, Like when in the book he talks about the AHA's recommendation for was actually kind of the cost of what caused me to get obese in the first place. Because what did the AHA, the American Heart Association, recommend? Right, they saw there was a rise in coronary artery disease, and they're like, you know what, let's have people eat less fats. So they recommended like a low fat, like high carb, high protein diet. So people were replacing all these fats with more bread and like pasta and refined carbohydrates. That eventually,
Oh, okay.
because
That's the
like
food pyramid.
there's only so much meat you can eat. So yeah, so
Yeah.
they were recommending all these like refined carbohydrate that eventually found out later that, oh, you know what, that's actually contributing to obesity, making it's like spiking your insulin. It's like has a lower insulin glycemic index. It was actually worse. So, but so I think like the nutrition science is still really underdeveloped, and it need to be more research into it.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot we don't know. And personally, for me as medical student, like I think we probably had like one course of nutrition in medical school, right? That was
Yeah.
it. I don't think we ever touched nutrition ever again. Like I don't remember anything. So
Mhm.
yeah, definitely something I want to learn on my own and just kind of do more. And like honestly, I'm really hesitant about like reading the textbooks and stuff too because I don't know. I feel like I can't. I was recently helping
No trust.
my friend. Yeah, I was helping my friends with her homework, and they were doing like a dietary guidelines thing, like kind of. So we had to set up like a meal plan for the day, and it was like so it's 4 meals: breakfast, lunch, snacks, and then dinner. So first of all, I was like, okay, and then it's recommended servings for like grains, like daily grains, was 6 servings per day. That's like
That's how
that's
you get diabetes.
that's like 3 cups of rice.
Wait, is it 3 cups? Is it 3 cups of rice? That's a lot.
Yeah, so it's like 3 cups of rice like per day for just like normal daily serving. So I'm like, what? So I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can trust this textbook anymore. But anyway, point's over. Any last words before we end, guys?
No, I'm
I
good.
don't. I have one last input about this nutrition thing.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I had like a phase where I was like watching competitive
Oh yeah, I
eaters.
remember.
But
This
like
guy's a
that showed me
mukbang
like,
competitive eaters
yeah,
enthusiast.
I don't understand. Fill me in if you guys know anything. Like, how can they consume so much food in one sitting and just still be skinny and not have any problems? I don't understand
It's
the
crazy.
science
Yeah,
behind
So
it.
I don't genetic anomaly, bro.
Dude,
the
he
thing was,
literally like
yeah,
20,000 calories and like I
holy
don't know,
smokes.
Yeah. Like not just guys who like you watch all
10,000
these
grams of sugar.
I
I don't
see
know.
Titing watch all these like Asian girls eating mukbang. They're like tiny,
Hmm.
tiny girls.
Yeah,
And they eat
You think
like
they just throw it up
just
afterwards?
throwing
Though?
up. Yeah,
that's why that's what my theory is first. I feel like maybe like a small maybe not a small percentage, but like
Mm-hmm.
a population of the mukbang do it people probably do like
or
binge
fake.
and purge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But I think a good number of them is also just like genetically gifted.
So
But
they can
But
break
again,
do you
I don't
think?
down.
know what the long term consequence could be.
I mean, there's just so much food and like stuff going through your intestine. Like your dietary system.
And it's not like
But
healthy
do you
food,
think?
right?
Yeah, it's not healthy food either. I mean,
No,
all the stuff they're eating. But do you think your body can process all that food efficiently enough to absorb it? Or just at some point it just be like, oh, I give up. We're just gonna push it all out. Or just clear it, like just keep on pushing.
I think that there has
Like there's
it's a
gotta be like some
combination of
upper limit,
things.
right?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. They either break it down very, very slowly throughout like their whole day. So maybe they just it's like they eat a lot at once and then but it takes them like days for them to process all that food or something. Like everything kind of slowed down.
Mm.
They're still breaking it down just like how we are, but just at a slower pace.
Hmm.
Don't they
Um,
have like trainings where they do just drink water and eat salad or something to just expand the stomach and stretch it out or something?
that's like a mechanical thing, right?
So then their body can
Just to
just
like
store a
have
lot more food than we do.
yeah, but like functionally, like their metabolic process has to be changed too. Like there's no way that they could consume that much sugar in once and not like be hyperglycemic and die from HHS and get super dehydrated. Like, there's got to be some metabolic process going on that's like you said, anomaly. So like, there's got to be some research on these people too. Like, you guys seen Matt Stoney videos, man?
Yeah, I've seen this. I guess
He's not eating.
he's pretty fit too.
Yeah, and he graduated with like nutritional science and stuff. So like, he knows. He's got it. He's not stupid. He got it. He has to know that this has to have some impact on his body, but he's still doing it. So there must be something. Like, maybe he knows the secret that he's not.
Yeah. Maybe you should email him, ask him to come on our show.
Yeah, we're trying to explore the science of competitive eating and how are you just normal.
Is that the next podcast?
He gotta say yes to our invitation first.
I know. I just know. Yeah.
I mean, I think the best person we can ask is you. On. I mean, you're probably the closest to like competitive eater among all of us here.
That's true. I puts it away.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get super skinny all the time. That's true. I don't know.
I mean, like,
Nice.
first of all, like, your anomaly is already that when you eat, your body just going to overdrive and you start sweating and stuff.
Yeah,
So
we
that
still
could
haven't
be it right
solved
there.
that,
That's one of the that's one of the compensation mechanism right there.
They're probably just. I guess I don't know, man. So you're thinking that I'm breaking down molecules to get ready for a new surge of other.
Yeah, your muscle just start
mechanisms or something? Like,
atrophying. You know, your fat just start just melting off by itself. You're like, all right, let's go.
because he's binging right now on food. Probably, yeah. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that'd be a good
Read up
study. You
more
know,
on
maybe
that.
like do like urinalysis on you after you like binge eat. See if there's like increased proteinuria or anything.
We should check my urine. I want to see if I'm spilling anything out, like protein.
Yeah, maybe you have like a higher than normal limit of proteinuria than the people.
And glucosuria.
Very cool.
See,
All right, thanks boys for coming
All
on
right,
to the
man.
podcast. It was fun.
it's fun.
I had some good
See
discussion.
you.
You can stay on. It's okay. Make sure you guys subscribe and like the video. You guys like this? Subscribe to us and review us on Apple Podcasts. So
Wait, is this our third episode?
This is our third episode. We're
Wait,
making it.
what was your statistic?
The statistic
after we
is that I think like 50 to 60% of podcasters doesn't make it past the third episode. So
Oh, here we go. Make it or break
the
it.
next one's gonna be it. And then
If you guys see us,
yeah,
then
and
it's a
then
good
only and then less than 90% of podcasts don't make it past the 25th episode. So our goal is to hit 21, guys. So make sure you guys support us.
sign.
So it's your boy 10 on, and we have Daniel here. Thanks, Daniel. Until next time, it is
See you guys.
Bye.
Culture and Medicine.
Bye.